Dear colleagues, morning we begin our work. The topic of the first press conference is launching out project Parasol. It's on palliative assistance, and we have Mr. Ryabchiy, and he's the part of Lyudmila Andriyishyn, main doctor of Ivano-Frankivsk hospice, and the member of the boarding committee and initiative of Renaissance Foundation, and Nastasia Evdokymova, who is the project manager. She will be the first to talk, to make the statement. Good morning. We state that today we launch the social art project Parasol on problems of palliative care. And for several months, we will work on advocacy of the term palliative assistance.
Для суспільства, соціуму ми готуємо безпосередньо.
We prepare a book on the assistance of palliative care. We will involve artists, bloggers, journalists, and mediators of that topic in the society. And also we'll hold a fundraiser to provide assistance to some regions of Ukraine, and our hubs in Vinnytsia, Uzhhorod, Kropyvnytsk, Dnipro, Kharkiv, Ivano-Frankivsk. Also, our project provides, we are planning to have some lectures and public activities, and about an exhibition of paintings, and it's about a presentation art book before books. I don't know, it's media personalities who will participate in the preparation of the art book, because the talk of palliative care, we have to explain, we need to explain, educate people on that, and that through different art media, we will speak about that topic, about a very complicated topic today. It seems to me that we will succeed to prove that art can be social. It can be an instrument that works, which helps to understand the problem better, and which allows to instruct those who need it, and also to inform those who don't know anything about that, how art in the society can be a driver. Thank you, Anastasia. I invite Ivan Ryabchiy, who is the coordinator of the literary part of the project. It's an honor for me to participate in this project. It's not the first time when I work on a palliative topic, and it seemed to me that to bring together authors in one book, it's always difficult, but almost everybody gave feedback. Almost nobody refused. There will be different authors: Zhadan, Nikityuk, Zoya Kazanji, Marina Yeshenko, Yuri Yarema, many different and interesting authors. And unfortunately, Ukrainian literature, not very often, it refers to such problems, painful problems, like palliative assistance and care, and about patients in terminal stage. And we have such examples. We know about the most known example, that is Oscar and a lady in pink, Mr. Schmidt, Eric Schmidt. He wrote that play, and because of Renaissance Foundation, and they started to speak about that topic in Ukraine. We hope that text and works that will belong to that art book and our work will continue. We'll continue touching. We'll raise the interest to palliative care. Now, collected texts. They are all different. We have fiction, we have some journalistic text, and also we have little masterpieces. And I believe that it will not be just a project, simple project, because it will be a real book. It will be interesting to read it. Thank you. And I invite Andriy Ermolenko, who who is the project coordinator of the visual art part of the project. It was very interesting for me to participate in this project, and now I created a group of artists who will participate in the project. First of all, I would like to say that it's full-on. Nobody raised this topic in Ukraine, and also artists didn't go into it because it's a very difficult project, and because of Renaissance Foundation, it's not just a compliment. They started it because I personally started to participate in this project 2 years ago. And I live with this, and I think about this. I would like to show that Ukrainian artist is socially active and can create not only in politics, can raise not only political topics in our country, but artists can work on things which are very difficult, and there is a palliative care to people who live together with us, near to us, and who have problems that are much bigger than mine, for example. This way, artists will participate in this, and we would like to have a masterpiece. And it's my task to create a masterpiece that nobody has in the world, and to do it in a way. And with maybe in the future we'll involve international artists, but we'll invite the most known artists in Ukraine and who are known also outside of Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you, Andriy. I invite Lyudmila Andriyishyn, please. Medical director. First of all, I would like to say good morning. I would like to say also you called me the main doctor, head doctor. I worked in palliative care for 20 years in Ivano-Frankivsk region for 16 years from zero and up to 4 years ago I was the head doctor, but today I'm not the head doctor. When you make such an announcement, I feel embarrassed. I run consulting department of Regional Center of Palliative Care, and also an assistant to Ministry of Healthcare in Ivano-Frankivsk region on palliative care, and leader of the training center. All the rest is in addition to this. I thought that I would say the art project was there, and Oscar and the lady in pink, and they started to raise the issue of palliative care for children. Palliative care is for all who need it, to people and who have a disease and incurable, and that have a disease will progress, and those are the biggest, very difficult problems, and for them and also for their families. Palliative care, it's a comprehensive approach. It's not just a treatment. The term palliative care unites encompasses more than palliative medicine, healthcare or care. Palliative care, it means like a surgery. You cannot treat with it, but you can help. Sometimes about palliative care, you bring together palliative medical part and also psychological support, and also guidance for the patient and also for the family, medical guidance. And so we create some kind of comfort for those people who are told, sorry, we cannot help you in the official healthcare system. So that's palliative care should create a psychological, physical, spiritual comfort and social comfort. So this is overall support. It means overall support, and probably this is the only branch which helps and provides psychological support. Even after death, during, so it's very important for all, for children, for families, for beloved. For 20 years, it's very difficult for us, but we made a progress. I would like to thank also Renaissance Foundation, because it was It is some kind of like an engine that pulls the whole palliative care in our country quite seriously. And all, I would like to draw a picture. Kseniya in front of the train is pulling Victoria Tymoshenko from the back, and they push. And the team, they bring it together. They're trying to help this. I can tell you a lot of things about palliative care because this is such a serious and important approach, and there are so many people who need it. As a rule, they pass by. We don't want to pay attention to them. We believe that we have a taboo for death, but people die, including children. Illnesses, they attack all: good people, bad, healthy, not healthy, and children. And they require assistance. They require that bridge when the society is turned the face to every citizen. It's when you're running and then you stumble and you get into your illness, but everybody continues running and you are left alone and you face serious problems. So palliative care, hospice, the support, the guidance, all the society together. This project which begins now, it will be probably maybe even more powerful project to support palliative care and further steps for its development in Ukraine. I'm ready to answer questions, and I can speak full, but I know that there are some time limitations. I'm like Kseniya Shapoval-Deynega. Thank you very much. On behalf of Renaissance Foundation, we would like to support and announce at the beginning of this project, and very often our partners and the medical community, doctors community, professionals in that field, they ask why do you pay attention and why do you support initiatives from arts community and colleagues from art. We understand quite well that we can work with people who take decisions in the Ministry of Healthcare or in regional departments of healthcare. We can support legal support, provide legal support all patients. We can train, share medical practice. We can train doctors on that. But if we speak about art, about the society, art is that bridge that we can build and we can spread awareness in the society. We can change understanding as to the rights of palliative patients and also about heavy patients in Ukraine. We put a taboo on death and dying. For us, it is related to a very difficult period of suffering of people, and the family is trying to forget about that period. But in fact, palliative care is called to help during difficult minutes and also to help people to go through that loss. And the first step was there was a project Oscar and Lady in Pink, and because we saw how many wonderful people from art we were able to involve, and people participated free of charge, and with the belief that because of their work they can change our understanding of the development of palliative care. That's why I would like to thank all the colleagues who were in the previous projects, and I thank the initiative group of this project, because if you didn't come to us, we wouldn't support such an initiative. We hope that this art book will be popular in Ukraine and will raise money we'll center that money to concrete services that will help to heavy patients in Ukraine. Thank you very much. Thank you, colleagues. Now we will have questions. Is there any question?
And please introduce yourself before putting a question. Alexander Michelson. I have the question to Ms. Kseniya. Is there any kind of at least approximate statistics how many incurable patients are covered by palliative with medical assistance, both in the center and in the field service? Of course, there are some statistics. The annual need is more than 500,000 of the population who require this palliative aid. Today, in the Ministry of Health, by our joint efforts, you are talking about statistics. We take into account the number of beds in the hospitals, more than 1,600 beds for which we provide the palliative aid to the patients. They include 7 hospices in the Ukraine, also the departments of palliative aid, either in the hospitals, or, for example, second municipal hospital in Kyiv, or specialized center like Center of AIDS and HIV, or it's a mental hospital, sometimes even mobile services which provide the aid, medical aid at home. There are 7 of those. We established them with the help or assistance of the foundation, which they provided training for those people, but later we were very active in our negotiations with the local communities in order to provide finances of those services at the cost of the local budgets. In some districts we became successful. We succeed in that. And actually, our requirements and needs are huge because we can cover only 15% of those who really need this palliative assistance or aid. And this assistance is associated with the access to the drugs which are under control, to kill the painkillers, etc., etc. And the most popular drug is morphine, as you know, so this kind of coverage is less than 15%. The required, we have to place order about 500 kilogram of morphine, but we consume about 80 kilograms. So you can imagine what is big problem we face. Thank you. Radislav Chekmisheva, I have the question to the coordinators of the artistic portion of this project. What is the reaction or response of your colleagues? I'm talking about your participation in such projects. You're not really paid, you do not receive big money or great feedback. What is the response or reaction of your colleagues to that? What do you say to you? And there is feedback, actually, and I'll start answering the question because this topic in Ukraine, there are only a few people who raised that issue. Many people, most of the people, just do not know what we are talking about. And unfortunately, our country acted in such a way that the people do not know about this problem, the existence of this problem. But when they come to know about this problem, that this exists, the response is rather powerful. We are Ukrainian citizens. We really take close to our hearts when somebody is living through this or another problem. That is why the people of art, they try to always provide some assistance to help to anybody. This was true about the previous project I participated in, Oscar, the Pink Lady, and this is true. And within this project as well, that's what I can see with my own eyes, and this is at the tip of our attention today, because we have to do something in Ukraine about that, and we have to create something in order for the people, who are living their last days in their lives. They have to spend those last days of their lives being happy. We have to make easier those last days of theirs on this earth of ours. Thank you. The feedback is wonderful. And as it turns out, many of my colleagues, writers and journalists, have come across such phenomena in their realistic lives. There are a lot of different stories which you can read, and they are really personal stories of personal lives. But the problem lies in the fact that not all Ukrainian writers can write on this specific topic. Everybody would like to use their imagination, and there are only a few who would give their consent to write on something which is required, some kind of specified topic. In Europe, in the West, this is a popular practice. For me as a translator, it's really amazing that the social topic in Ukraine are not really raised very often. Of late, I start to understand that I translate the books only, about, let's say, the special shepherd dog for the blind persons, or about the persons who are advanced in age and they flee to the forests or the woodlands because they do not want to end their lives in the in the special hospitals for the aged persons. But speaking about the palliative assistance, we do not have any books about that. And my colleagues, actually, their response is very good. They are happy that at least something is going to change along these lines. Just a few words I would like to add. Uh, in my cultural activities, generally speaking, I stick to the notion that culture must go beyond the boundaries of the city of Kiev and penetrate into the countryside, into the region. When we are talking about other cities, very often than not, we do not understand how we should talk to those people in the localities, how we should convey the message, bring them the cultural project, what they would like to see, to hear, to get acquainted with. And we do not even realize that they have something to say as well. And they really would like to say something. It's very interesting to understand the local audiences, but to do that, we have to get acquainted with their specific problems. And in fact, this kind of social project associated with the palliative aid, in which we are going to we're going to be active in 7 cities. We have to get to know what would be interesting for those people in those localities. In this kind of art book, as a book, what is going to be all about, they have to understand the first layer. We have to understand the first layer of those social problems. Then we can go deeper into that problem, kind of in-depth knowledge or understand what's going on there. If you're talking about different problems they're living through, but in addition to culture, we have to understand, we be fully aware of the social problems they face on a daily basis. I would like to specify whether palliative assistance includes some kind of the real intensive treatment, special treatment, and do provide some assistance to the family members of those patients. The intensive therapy and words is different. We are talking intensive therapy. We deal with the patients who still have a chance to survive. Palliative assistance deals with those patients who, as a result of different diagnoses and all the kind of treatments and the studies, we came to understand that there is no cure for those patients. In the world over, the palliative assistance started with oncological disease, then we added AIDS and HIV. And today, the world over, and we as well, we provide the palliative assistance, and that all those who badly need that. But we work, we do not deprive the persons of any kind of hope or expectation. If we can see that there is some kind of remission or improvement, we can actually send this patient again for some additional tests or the diagnostic the studies, but this is not equal to the intensive or intensive care therapy. Because we understand that a lot of money is required for the oncological aid to this or another patient, which is really costly, but we would not provide maybe such a costly treatment if you know for sure that this patient will live maybe another day or two. But if you're talking about euthanasia, this is something unnatural or against nature of the humankind. We have to provide the high quality life for all the patients until the very last moment of their lives on this earth. So we have to help them to have a kind of all-round quality life. Palliative, actually, if we translate it from the Latin nature, it means a kind of a cloak to cover something. And palliative medicine means to do something which will not allow you to treat, but will provide some help to the patients. And there is a lot of things in medicine when we sometimes are actually we cannot do anything to help a person, But sometimes we succeed. Over the last several years, in 3 cases, actually we managed to reconsider the lethal diagnosis. The situation changed, and before the medical examination and the daily supervision, monitoring such patients demonstrated that there was no progression of the aggravation of the disease. No, we are not talking about the houses of death. No, those are the houses of life. And moreover, if we are talking about the children, when we are talking about the adults, and very often we say that the psychologists, they work with the family members, and we say that we have to stop at some period of time and have kind of try to make them think not how much time is left for this or not person, but what kind of life they're going to live before they die. So we have to take care of all the, let's say, possibilities, including palliative assistance to be provided in the volume or in the amount required by this or another patient. Thank you. And the last question. Radio Voice of Kiev, Natalia Belotska. Why in those specific cities you selected those specific cities for your project? Well, those 7 cities were selected because, for example, in Uzhgorod, the field service of palliative assistance or aid started to be operative several weeks ago, but they covered a long way. They prepared for that, have been preparing for 2 years for that. But the Renaissance Foundation provided the money for the project of funding and preparing and training the, let's say, the field teams. In Khmelnytsky, they do not have such a team, but the professional physicians are being prepared for the day when everything will be in place. They will immediately start to provide such an assistance. Right. Actually, we are talking about those cities which constantly need the funds, the information and support, and all those 7 cities, they have active physicians, even very active physicians, which really, not only doctors, not all physicians, but all those people, for the sake of who we are going to carry out this social project and to do something to help them. Thank you, Nastasia. Thank you, dear colleagues.